Good evening and welcome as we join together to thank our God in this week before Thanksgiving, but truly most of us think of November as a month to be counting our blessings in a deeper way. So tonight we are chosen to, Holly's at the organ, and hi, over there, honey. Ralph is at the tech board.
Where am I? Oh,
Where
I'm
are
over
you?
here.
Yes. And he won't be right next to me to keep me in line, so we'll have to hope for the best.
We'll do a little of this, if that works for you.
So
I split the screen.
Split the screen. Because this is our last live Sacred Sing for a few weeks, I wanted to, at the front of the program tonight, just give you a little heads up on some of the upcoming recorded and live events that are happening in this incredible holiday season. Next week, there will be no Sacred Sing on Wednesday night, but there will be a ecumenical service pre-recorded that has been a tremendous amount of fun and work for Andy Campbell and Ralph and myself and other choirs. 3 churches have had the tradition of gathering, which we cannot do this year. So Andy, bless his heart, has not only put together and hosting this pre-recorded service, but he has offered an anthem that he composed, and number of singers, including Ralph and myself, have sent in tapes. So you will hear a virtual choir, and I have pre-recorded a prelude and a postlude for this service. And we don't have the link quite yet, but stay tuned to any Facebook or websites around this church or any of First Congregational or St. Catherine's in Alton. And those of you that aren't local, we'd love you to join us and just keep posted. We'll put it out there when the link is ready and the service has been finished, being edited. And then...
Holly?
Yes.
I'm going to take just a moment here to change batteries.
Oh.
You're cutting out some.
Oh.
And I don't know if that's the batteries or what, but we'll give it a shot, all right?
Uh-oh. So do you need my pack?
Yep, I'll bring it, I'll come over.
Okay, you work while I'm talking. I'm going to...
What's that?
Oh, shall I unplug this and just talk, or? Sorry.
There's no place to talk.
Okay, quick.
We need a,
Show them a battery.
oh, geez. You hear yourself cutting up?
No, I couldn't hear it.
Back in here. Push on. If you can just lay that beside the bench.
Okay, I will.
On the bench,
Yeah,
that would be
I will.
best.
Whoa.
Let me see if that works.
Thanks for patience. There's always something new and interesting with technology. That's what we've discovered in doing these types of services in the last 3 months. So, very quickly, can I finish that on December 2nd, if you tune in on Wednesday at the time of Sacred Sing, but at 7 p.m., you will hear a pre-recorded half hour of lovely, reflective Advent piano music that I just recorded this week with pictures and 7 beautiful, beautiful, recognizable Advent hymns that you can play anytime during this season. So I hope that's a blessing to you. The following week, Wednesday, December 9th, we are going to have a sacred and secular sing, where we have some things like Winter Wonderland and I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas, that type of thing, 2 or 3 of those, and 4, 5, 6 carols, so maybe a 45-minute program on December 9th. That will be live, and then December 16th will be a program of pre-recorded organ carols and music for you, about a half an hour, so and tune in. So that's my little, sorry it took so long, but here we are. And tonight, I would just like to sing 3 songs pretty much right in a row, starting with We Gather Together. The organ is such a wonderful instrument to support these hymns of our Thanksgiving faith. And let's sing together. we gather together, and we are gathering very differently and this year, and not in the way we would have chosen, but we are choosing to ask his blessing. We know he's beside us to guide us. He's joining with us in this time. He's at our side. Let's sing 3 verses of We Gather Together. I noticed when we were rehearsing this and looking at this hymn, the prayer in that 3rd verse, let thy congregation escape tribulation. That's a prayer we all have, but where is our faith and our praise when we're in tribulation, which we clearly are now and have been for a season, without a clear end in sight? Will we choose to praise and thank our God because he's not the author of evil, but everything goes through his hands. Everything is in his purview. He is unfolding his plan. And I hear him whisper to me daily, do you trust me now, Holly? And I pray if he whispers that to you, with me you can say, yes, Lord, I trust you. Let's go on to hymn, another hymn that we love at this time. Come, ye thankful people, come.
Do we have some difference in words on this one?
Yes. Oh, thank you. Ralph, you tell them about that while I change the organ here.
Well, we get words from various sources, and, Holly's playing for music, and this is text, so sometimes we end up with different words. Just sing along, sing the words on the screen, because that's what you have, and you may hear Holly singing something slightly different.
And you'll also notice that on these wonderful hymns, I sometimes go soaring off into a descant of some sort. So sing the melody or any part you know and join us in this wonderful time of praising our God.
Song of harvest home. Oh, the blade, and then the ear. Then the full corn shall appear. Root of harvest, rampant green. Wholesome grain and pure may be. For the Lord our God shall come, and shall take his harvest home. From his field shall mend away all offenses, purge and day. Give his angels charge at last in the fire the tares to cast. But the fruitful is the store in his garner evermore. Even so, Lord, quickly come. Bring thy final harvest home. Gather thou thy people in, free from sorrow, free from sin. There forever purified in thy presence to abide. Come, bid all thine angels come, raise the glorious harvest home.
In the book of Revelations, one of the last verses says, even so, come, Lord Jesus. And we just sang that, even so, Lord, quickly come. And I confess there are days when I'm hoping that his plan that we just talked about is to come quickly and release us from sin and sorrow. But if he does not, if he tarries, we are soaring on wings of praise because we know who we have believed. And we know we will see him in person one day. And that makes me think of all the people we are not seeing in person right now. And Jesus blessed in the Gospels those who had not seen him and yet believe like we do. So grow strong, keep strong, be courageous in your faith, folks. And we are going to sing Now Thank We All Our God, which you heard played as an organ prelude tonight. And let's sing all three verses of this. And then you're going to hear a moving story about the composer of the final hymn we will sing tonight. And we'll talk about that in a moment. Now thank we all our God. I think I need to gonna do something here. Put it up just a tiny bit. Here we go.
Now thank we all our God with heart and hands and
last hymn we'd like to sing with you tonight, Like a River Glorious. I'm going to read to you a little bit about the story of Frances Havergal. We mentioned her in an earlier program this fall. She was a very prolific and well-known English composer whose close friend was Fanny Crosby, author of Battle Hymn of the Republic, who was an American female composer. And this is the story of Frances' death and how she died. And I thought I would read you a bit, and then we'll sing the first verse. And then I'll read you the rest, and we will sing the last two verses. In 1876, while vacationing in the south of Wales, Frances Havergal caught a severe cold and suffered inflammation of the lungs. Told she might die, her response was, "If I am really going, it is too good to be true." Her friends were amazed at how peacefully she faced the prospect of dying. That same year, she wrote the hymn, "Like a river glorious is God's perfect peace, over all victorious, in its bright increase. Perfect, yet it floweth, fuller every day. Perfect, yet it groweth deeper all the way. Stayed upon Jehovah, hearts are fully blessed, finding, as he promised, perfect peace and rest." Sing this with me.
Like a river glorious is God's perfect peace, over all victorious in its bright increase. Perfect, yet it floweth, fuller every day. Perfect, yet it groweth deeper all the way. Stayed upon Jehovah, hearts are fully blessed, finding as he promised, perfect peace and rest.
Now, I read the rest of this story not for you to compare yourself to Frances Havergal, because she truly had a saintly attitude, and it is an amazing story of her actual passing, but only to say that at this time in our history, in this season of our lives, is it not a good thing to face our own mortality? And to ask the questions, how is it with my soul? How is it with my own fears about death and dying? We would not be human if we did not fear it. But we have a gracious God, an amazing helper. And you will see how Frances turned to him and met him. 3 years later, after she wrote this hymn, while meeting some boys to talk with them about the Lord Jesus, she ran into cold, wet weather and became chilled. As her fever grew worse, her family became alarmed. It gradually became apparent that Frances, 42, was dying. On Whit Sunday, as one of her doctors left the room, he said, "Goodbye, I shall not see you again." "Then you really think I am going?" asked Frances. "Yes." "Today?" "Probably." "Beautiful," said Frances. "Too good to be true." Soon afterward, she looked up smiling and said, "Splendid to be so near the gates of heaven." She asked her brother to sing some hymns to her, and then he said to her, Francis, you have talked and written a great deal about the king, and you will soon see him in his beauty. It's splendid, she replied. I thought he would have left me here a long while, but he is so good to take me now. A little later she whispered, Come, Lord Jesus, come and fetch me. A terrible rush of convulsions seized her, and when they ceased, the nurse gently laid her back on her pillows. Frances' sister later wrote, quote, Then she looked up steadfastly as if she saw the Lord. Surely nothing less heavenly could have reflected such a glorious radiance upon her face. For 10 minutes, we watched that almost visible meeting with her king, and her countenance was so glad, as if she were already talking to him. Then she tried to sing, but after one sweet, high note, her voice failed, and her brother commended her soul into the Redeemer's hand. Verse 2 and 3. Like a river glorious, by a woman who is now singing gloriously with her Redeemer. Go with you. Blessed Thanksgiving, whatever table you are sitting around. Many blessings from Ralph and I.
Bye all. We love you.